Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday. Well, I have been kind of resistant to sort of get into detail on this for a while, but I was talking to some people yesterday and a couple times being encouraged to just share my story, where I've come from. Obviously it's different. We've never gone through this before, so this is a little unusual, the whole pandemic deal. But I was going to quickly go through my story about work and where I'm at now and how I got here, because for some people they need to hear that message, and it's going to be useful, and it's going to help ground them and give them that hope that they're going to get through this, and you are, for sure. And just having conversations with folks yesterday, they were saying, dude, I didn't know that. Like, you need to tell people stuff like that. So here we go. Okay. So, yeah, as you can see, I live in a very nice area. Nobody around here. It's awesome. Love it. A little place called Cross Creek Ranch in Texas, about 30 miles west of Houston. And I certainly didn't start here. I grew up in Hamilton, Ontario. My dad was a steel worker. My mom was a hairstylist. I thought we had lots of money when I was growing up, but apparently we didn't. Moved to South Africa when I was 7 or something like that. I think we were there for a couple of years. Actually chopped that thumb off. Some nice stitches in there. They sewed it back on. That was pretty cool. My mom said, okay, that's it. We're going back to Canada. And that house that we sold when we left, I think we sold it for $24,000. A couple years later, back in the, when was that? Early 70s? It was between $80,000 and $90,000. So needless to say, we couldn't afford to get back into a house when we got back, so we lived in a townhouse area for a while. Anyways, I went to university, paid my way through that, through co-op work terms, and environmental studies and geography. Graduated in 1990, worked for an engineering company for about 10 years, and I think I got paid for 40 hours. I think I made my way up to like 50-something thousand a year. But I wasn't working 40 hours. I think the minimum I ever worked was 60 hours a week, mostly 70 to 80 to get those chargeable hours in. I remember a couple of 100-hour weeks. And I was starting to think, oh my gosh, I got to work 15 years before I get another week of vacation. Oh my gosh. I was like, this is ridiculous. So then I started coaching a little bit. Actually, a lot of you know me as a performance coach, but I actually didn't want to coach. I was doing really well in triathlons initially, and people were asking me, hey, could you do a training program for me? Because you know what you're doing, you're going really well. I go, like, I'm not interested in coaching people. I am a super shy, introverted person. Then, for sure. Still introverted, maybe not as shy now. And a lot of what happened was just people pulling me out of my shell. So they're saying, just do a training program for me. I would really appreciate it. I said, I don't have the time. I work full time. You have no idea how busy I am with my job. And any other time that I've got, I'm training to be able to do the kind of elite level of triathlon that I want to race at. I've got a PB for a half marathon of 1 hour and 11 minutes, half Ironman, 4 hours and 11 minutes, and Ironman I got up to, or down to, I guess, 9 hours and 21 minutes. But more exciting for me on that was not that I trained a ton, because I just didn't have the time, but I would be, I think that Ironman training build, I did 13 and a half hours a week to get down to 9:20. So that got me more excited, just being able to maximize things. And that all came about from trying to figure out training programs for people that would maximize the time they were spending training, because they just didn't have the time to waste. So what I eventually got started coaching people, because they said, hey, just give us a price and we'll pay you. And I'm like, okay, this is back in 1990. How much can I tell this person I'll charge them so they leave me alone and I won't coach them? So I won't have to coach them. So I said $100 a month. They're never going to say yes. Oh, perfect. Okay, I'll do that, and I've got 2 or 3 friends that want to do that as well. It's like, frick. So that's how I started coaching. It was like a long time ago, 30 years now. I've coached people to over 1,400 Ironman races, thousands of shorter distance triathlons and running races, had athletes win world championships. And I built that up over a period of time to the point that after I'd been working at that engineering company for about 10 years, big truck coming through, I was making more money coaching than I was from this full-time gig working for an engineering company. So I tried to quit. They wouldn't let me. Clearly I was making them way too much money. So I agreed to work part-time for them and train people to do what I was doing so that I could leave. And eventually they just stopped calling me in to do work, and I was able to sort of break that connection. And I just went full-time into coaching. At one point I had over 85 athletes that I was coaching. And my coaching is training programs. I'm not a personal trainer. I can get together with people one-on-one to do technique work, but I prefer to just jump on the phone or on the computer and do work that way. I got to the point though, I was so busy with the training, had all these people wanting me to coach them. The way I got most of my clients, this is boring, you can check off, but this is kind of, some people seem to find it interesting. But I'd spent tens of thousands of dollars on advertising, trying to get people to hire me as a coach, because once I'd quit my job, okay, now I got to make money doing this coaching thing. I can't rely on any business. And step back quickly, I remember thinking when I was considering quitting this job and just going into coaching full time, I started thinking, will I be able to work for myself? And so this whole point of the story is going somewhere, and this is part of it, is a lot of times people are employees, like I was, because that's what we were trained to do. It's all we've ever known. It's all we've ever done. And you start thinking, will I be successful as an entrepreneur? If I have my own business and I'm responsible for making me do the work, nobody's there making me get it done, will I be successful? I remember thinking about that, and it was a scary thought, because now it's like, yeah, I can't blame some boss for not giving me what I want. I can't blame some company for not paying me what I'm worth, or giving me that bonus or not giving me that bonus. It's on me. You want to make more money? It's on you. And I remember thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? I want a different life. I want a better life. I'm not going to get it working for somebody else, being charged out at $180 an hour and making 25. Like, that's not, like, I want that $180 an hour, not 25 with 3 weeks vacation a year and working 80 hours a week. So I just pulled the plug and got at it, and then started doing my own coaching. In advertising, never worked. Like I said, tens of thousands of dollars on advertising and magazines and flyers and race kits and wah, wah, wah. I think I got one client from that, because people they want to hire you. They want you to help them get from where they are to where they want to be. And it's you, that connection. So you know what worked? I was like, can't believe I actually did this. But what worked is I put a backpack on my back full of coaching brochures, or maybe they were postcards. I can't remember. I think they were brochures, little folding things. And I went to an Ironman race. I think I started in Canada, or maybe it was Lake Placid. And this is back in the early 2000s. So there was no online sign up for races. It just didn't exist back then. Remember, this is early 2000s, before Facebook and all that stuff. And what happened is I would just go to the front of the line. I'm sure people thought I was trying to butt in line to register for next year's race. And I would talk to every single person in that line, scared to death, sweat rolling down my back. I'm so scared. I'm like, advertising's not working. I got to connect with people. I'm getting great referrals, but now I got this business that I need to grow, and I wasn't interested in hiring other coaches. I know a lot of coaching companies do that. They start and then they hire out the coaching to other coaches. No, I wanted to do the coaching. I wasn't interested in growing some big, massive coaching company. I just wanted to help people with what I knew in my head. And I would talk to every single person in line. Hey, my name's Steve Bentley. I'm an Ironman coach. Are you looking for a coach for next year's race? Man, I practiced that probably 200 times before I said it to a single person. Because remember, I was so shy. I'd have clients saying to me, Steve, you know so much about coaching, but talking to you is like so painful. It's like pulling teeth to get information out of you. Like, you're giving me a great training program, but I want to understand more. And so that's my coaching evolved, and not just tell people what to do, but why they're doing it, and got really good at that. So if you've been an athlete of mine over the years, I apologize. Sometimes too much information and intensity, but you got results. And so I would talk to people and they would look at me politely and go, no, I'm good. Yeah. And I'd say, okay, no worries. Good luck with your training. And then I'd take a step to the right and I'd say the exact same thing to the next person. Hey, my name's Steve Bentley. I'm an Ironman coach. Been doing it for X number of years. Are you looking for a coach for next year's race? And every time it didn't work, I would adjust my message a little bit. I didn't let the fact that I was freaking scared as heck stop me from doing it. I use that as like, it's kind of like a metaphor for training and racing. I went into Ironman in races and I pushed myself as hard as I could. And I kept pushing myself harder and harder and harder in a race until it got so uncomfortable. I thought, there's no way I can go another step without dying. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I've done like 20 steps and I'm not dead yet. Okay, maybe dial it back a little bit and hold that. So I just got really used to being uncomfortable in athletics, and I just started to push that into other areas. And that's how I built my coaching. I would talk to people and I'd figure out what didn't work and I'd stop doing that. And what worked really well, and I still do this today, to the day I still do this, is I would say to people, hey, my name's Steve Bentley. I'm an Ironman coach. I've been doing it for, whatever number of years at the time. Are you looking for a coach for next year's race? I do a free half-hour telephone consultation. We'll talk, and I'll outline your entire training program to get you from where you are now to match your goals. And you can take that information and you'll probably use it and you're going to have a great race. Or you might decide you don't want to come up with the training program and you want me to do that. I'll put it all together for you. But I'll send you some options for you to think about. No pressure on the call, just information and options. And the person that just said no to me, and then I thought about adding that in, turned around after they heard me say it to the person behind them. They said, well, I'm interested in a coaching consultation. And the person in front of them that was snickering because I'm saying the same thing and getting knocked down each time. So, yeah, I'm interested in a coaching consultation as well. That's how I built my business up. It went from all of a sudden, like working with maybe a dozen people to 20, 40, 50. And that's all I did full time. I just sat on my computer and did training programs all day and built training camps, did trips, occasional one-on-one technique sessions. Love doing those to really help people get efficient. But that's how I built my business. And then I got to the point after a number of years, I'm like, I'm getting burned out. I'm making a lot of money. I am so stressed out all the time. And I got a big tractor coming up here. Oh, he's turning it off. Awesome. I'm so burned out and so stressed out all the time. I'm not sleeping enough. And I think it was the day I started looking into, there's got to be a drug I can take. I don't take drugs. I quit Scouts when I was 16 in Venturers because they started smoking pot, and I'm like, I'm out. I'm not being part of this. And then one day I just had this thought, wonder if there's some like drug I can take to stay awake more at night so I can get more work done. And then I was like, what are you doing? Are you insane? You can't do that. So that was like a trigger for me that I needed to do something different. I really loved being an entrepreneur. I loved having my own business. I traveled whenever or wherever I wanted. If I wanted to make more money, I just worked harder. Then it got to the point where it's like, okay, I can't work harder. I'm running out of time. I can't and don't want to charge people more money for the coaching that I'm giving them. And I was starting to get exhausted from the whole remarketing, constantly trying to replace people who you would have me do training programs for them for a while and reach their goals and then, okay, move on to something else. Hey, I totally get it. Like, I don't do triathlons anymore. It's not something that I want to do every single day for the rest of my life. For some people it is. I've been coaching people for, this one guy, I started coaching him, I think 18 years now I've been doing a training program for him. He loves it, just doesn't want to think about it. He owns a company. But for a lot of people, they're going to do this for a period of time and then they're going to stop. And I was just getting tired of the constantly bringing in new customers to do a training program for a little while and then finding somebody else. I loved helping them, but it was just getting exhausted. And I started projecting ahead thinking, I can't do this for another 10 years. Maybe 5, but not 10. So this is kind of the story evolving to where I am now, where I can go for, like yesterday or 2 days ago, I think I went out and two walks. I did 7.5 miles in the morning, and then I did almost 5 with Michelle when she got home from work. And when I'm doing my walks in the morning like this, or runs or whatever it is I'm doing, I'm either listening to podcasts and watching stuff, posting on Facebook, which is kind of me doing my job. And I've got the time freedom to spend doing things like this because I don't have to constantly work all the time. And that's what I want to help y'all figure out, that there's options out there besides just having a job and going to work for somebody. And most of the people that I'll tell you right now, most of the people I work with, they're entrepreneurial focused. They own their own business. They're massage therapists, they're coaches, they're psychologists, they're chiropractors, they're people who run the show. If they want to work harder, they just work harder. They want to make more money, they do that. They want to take time off, they schedule it in. Nobody tells them what to do. And so many of them, like a month or so ago, were saying to me, oh no, I'm good. You know, I love what I do. I make enough money. I'm not interested in, sharing, because I do Isagenix. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. They're like, I'm good. I don't need to do that. Bang, coronavirus hits. And now they can't work. They're not allowed to work. They can't see their clients or their patients. Things are shut down. They can't go to the office. And they're freaking out because what they had control over before that they never thought they were going to lose, now they realize isn't theirs. And I'm busier now than I've ever been. So back in the mid-2000s, I'm starting to think about something else to do that I could be successful in and help people, because I've impacted a lot of lives coaching for 30 years. I've had athletes win the world championships for ITU and distances from Olympic distance to long course, like outright win the race. First person across the finish line. And super satisfying for sure. Help people do that without ruining their life and being able to get a lot of training and effective training in without spending tons of hours doing it. That's what I love to do, why I was able to do 920 and an Ironman on 13 hours a week of training. So just that efficiency, hard work. Like, don't get me wrong, those training programs I gave were not easy. Anybody that I coach will tell you that, but really effective. And I was looking for something that I could do that would build up, because I lost money in the 80s in mutual funds. I don't know if I'm 53 years old, so I've been around for a little bit. And I lost a ton of money in the 80s in mutual funds. And I'm looking at stuff and thinking, okay, I'm my best investment. I'm not going to invest all my money in other companies and hope and pray that they are successful. The best person for me to invest in is me. The best company for me to invest in is me. I can trust me. And if I'm not getting the results that I want, that's on me. So yeah, I still do investments here and there, but I invest in me before anybody else, because that's where the source of my income is going to come from. For sure, it's God that's allowing me to have the skills and the environment that I've been put into to be able to do all that. But I got to get into action, and I can trust me to get into action more than I can trust some CEO of a company that I might be investing in and hoping that they're not going to take their $18 million bonus and lower the amount of money I'm going to get from that investment. I can go on and on about that because I've got so many people who are in the financial investment services, and I just remember hearing stories about, Steve, hey, it doesn't matter what the market does. I always make money. Whether you lose money or you make money, I make money. I'm like, okay, mental note, don't put your eggs in that basket. So got dialed into looking for another way to create wealth. And network marketing came along. I remember driving back from Florida one year, and it's about a 22-hour drive. And I can't remember the name of the series of Tony Robbins, but it was some big CD series. And it was a 21-hour CD series. So I listened to it all the way down, got me thinking, never done network marketing. I used some products from network marketing before because they were really high quality, but never done it. And then coming back, I'm thinking, gosh, I need to find a network marketing company, because I listened to the exact same CD series on the way back from Florida on that drive. And I think it was a couple of days I was at home and a friend of mine called me and said, hey Steve, have you ever heard of Juice Plus? It was a fruits and vegetables in a capsule. Loved the product, worked great. But it took about 4 months for me to notice a difference. But I got started on it, made sense, made a couple $1,000s a month doing that. But it just wasn't, for me, it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Comp plan was, they're all effective if you work them right. But for me, I was just looking at it and thinking, okay, I can bring a lot of people in, but somebody that doesn't is going to have a very limited income opportunity. And this is a unilevel system. They're going to have to bring in more and more and more and more and more legs in order to create any significant amount of income, because it only gets paid down 11 levels. So that was a multi-level marketing company. So I was looking for something else. A friend of mine talked to me about a program that I'd actually heard about earlier, Isagenix. And I thought initially when I heard about it, because the lady that talked to me said it was a weight loss program. Keep in mind, I'm an elite athlete, coach. I was about 6% body fat. The last thing I needed to do was lose weight. So I said, no, not interested. And my friend Camille Lawson talked to me about Isagenix a little later and started talking to me about it in terms of it being a health system, helping remove toxins from your body. Flood it full of great nutrition. It was a whey protein shake, which was good for me. I didn't want a soy-based shake. And the comp plan looked completely different. So I'm like, okay, let me try it out. Got started 2 weeks. Even though I didn't need to lose weight, I still lost an inch off my waist. I was 40 years old at the time, so that got me excited. But more exciting for me, I gained muscle. Put on 1/4 of an inch of muscle on my legs and my arms, my biceps, and 1/2 inch across my shoulders in about 2 weeks. I'm 190 pounds now. When I started, I was about 160. I'm 30 pounds heavier now with muscle than I was before I started Isagenix. For me, this is a health system for healthy aging, muscle building, staying lean. If you've seen any of my posts, you know I love to drink wine, I love gin and tonics, I love to cook. I made a butterflied lamb last night with garlic and mint and yogurt marinade. Oh my gosh, that was so good. I was so full when I finished eating that because I ate all of it. And I am not a health freak. I am just really healthy because I get the proper nutrition in and that junk out of my system. So that's the products. The great thing about Isagenix is the products work so well. The terrible thing about Isagenix is the products work so well. Because when people come in, they're coming in mainly for the product. It works so well. They just get all focused in on, wow, you're gonna lean out, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna have more energy, you're gonna recover faster from workouts. And that's all amazing, but it really distracts people from the massive opportunity that Isagenix is, which is the income and the wealth creation system. And so, got a little off track there. Let me bring it back. So I joined Isagenix in 2007, and I just bought a really pretty expensive house just a little after that. And what happened is that, if you remember, the market crashed back in 2008 and 2009. Like, it tanked. And had nothing to do with a pandemic. It was just that subprime mortgage issue. If you're of any age, you're going to remember that. So I had this great business coaching, and in about, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 months, I lost half my income. People were calling me up left, right, and center. Steve, hey, sorry, man, love the training program, can't afford it anymore. We're just knuckling down, tighten things up, making sure that we're staying on track financially. I'm not even sure if I'm going to have a job soon. So, my partner's like, yeah, you got to get rid of that coaching. That's one area we can cut. And I totally get it. I understand. And it's not like I needed them to stay as a client. But when you make a certain amount of money, and I was well up into the 6 figures on that, when you get used to making a certain amount of money, you kind of spend like you're making that kind of money. And when half of that income disappears in a matter of a number of months, it's hard to recover from that. if you don't have something else going on. Fortunately for me, I did. I started Isagenix back in 2007. Thank you, Camille, for explaining it in a way that I heard and helping me understand that it wasn't a weight loss program and it was a health system that allowed me to save money on nutritious food, because I am not a health freak. I'll try and buy organic, like that makes sense to me, to buy things that are cleaner, but I'm not going to go out of my way to spend tons and tons of money and go through a ton of effort cooking every single meal that I need to make sure I'm getting optimal nutrition into my body. It's not going to happen. So it needs to be easy, it needs to be affordable, and it needs to work quickly. And when I got started on Isagenix to try it for a month and I got those results, I'm all in. So I just started telling people what I'd found and if they were looking for a solution. Now, again, the problem with Isagenix is that the products work so well. So I really focused on the products initially. And when I did, I helped a lot of people get started and I made some good money, but not crazy gangster money, which is fine. I didn't need to. I was making lots from my coaching. But then when I lost half my income from coaching, it's like, okay, thank goodness I've got this thing going on. I can lean on this and make up for the fact that I've lost half my income pretty quickly. And back when I started Isagenix in 2007, they just didn't have the bonuses that they've got today. So, I brought in 10 people, helped them share Isagenix with a couple of people, and the bonuses I got for enrolling those 10 that started sharing, it was $250. Plus the volume, right? I get 6% on all the orders that happen through my team. That's network marketing today. It's just, hey, if you built a great organization of people who are buying products, we wouldn't have that coming through our company if it wasn't for you. We want to pay you a percentage of those orders to say thank you. That's network marketing in Isagenix. So I made $250 in bonuses plus the thousands from the volume. People starting today doing exactly what I did, I figured it out, over $30,000 in bonuses plus the thousands in volume. So it's work, don't get me wrong. This is not easy for somebody to just come in, and if you think this is a get rich quick thing where you're just sitting there and you're joining somebody's team and you're like, where's the money? It doesn't work that way. This is a job, it is work. But fortunately, there's two components to what we do. There's the work side, where you go out and connect with people and help them find a solution for their health or their wealth issues, which is work. I got to talk to people. I'm so busy right now, and I love it because every time I'm helping somebody, that's impactful for them, whether it's their health or their wealth. So that's the work component. Then there's the leveraged component, and that's where we're business owners. Because my goal is not to have a job where I have to keep working all the time. I love to connect with people and help them understand what Isagenix is, because that allows them to participate in exactly what I'm doing. Unlike if I was a coach owning my coaching company and hiring coaches, they're never going to make more money than me. I want people on my team to kill this so bad that they make more money than I do. And that's possible in network marketing today with the way the comp plans are structured. So for me, fast forward through to 2008 and to 2009, recovered from that, settled in, got a great house in a golf course. I golfed a lot. I got my golf handicap from, I think I was in the teens when I moved in there, and I got it down to a +1. So that's like under par, because time freedom is really important for me. I want to be able to, go out and walk around in a nice neighborhood and be able to enjoy my life. Hey, I'm not one of those busy martyrs. Those people that are so busy all the time, and it's like a badge of honor. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I don't have time for enjoying life because I'm so busy. Great that you drive that awesome car and you live in an amazing house. You're so freaking busy, you can't enjoy any of it. And in situations like this, now what? Like, I know so many people who are so busy working to create the wealth that they need to have all those things that they want, because that's what they were told. It's not their fault per se. Like, I bought into that for the longest time. I went to university, got my degree, 5-year honors program. in geography, I know it's kind of like an oxymoron, right? Honors geography. I loved it. How I got in there is my guidance counselors in high school. A little tangent, I'm going to try and come back. Guidance counselors in high school said, hey, so what are you going to do when you finish school? I'm like, I don't know. They go, well, what do you want to do? So keep in mind, my dad was a steel worker, my mom was a hairstylist, so it's not like I had role models for a professional career. And nothing against steel workers and hairstylists, I think they're great. I have a lot of friends who do that. But for me, I didn't have that exposure. And when I wasn't in the house, I was out on the escarpment and running through the woods, catching salamanders and doing scouty type things. So I didn't know what engineers were, kinesiologists or nutritionists or, gosh, all these amazing jobs that are out there. I had no clue what they were. So my guidance counselor says, so what do you like doing? I go, well, I like camping. So seriously, this is how I figured out where I was going to do in university. Well, I like camping. And they're like, oh, like trees? Like, I'm sure they were about going on their lunch break, or maybe it was the last session of the day and I just wanted to get out of there. So like forestry? You want to be a forester? And I was like, no, I don't want to be a forester. Well, what subject are you really good at school? I go, I think my highest mark is in geography. I think I'm like 93 or something. And I was an awesome student. I was okay, but they said, okay, well, how about geography? I was like, yeah, I like geography. That's good. Like maps and stuff. They're like, yeah. So that's how I went to university for geography. I applied to 3 different schools, got into all of them. And yeah, spectacular. Anyways, back on track. So got going through this whole period of coming out of that 2008, 2009 recession, and then recovered from that. Golfed a ton, like every day I would go out golfing, got my handicap down to a +1, and I've made, and this is work, right? And go to isagenixearnings.com if you're curious about what's possible and what the average is for people. I work my butt off, like I do in everything in my life, and I've made over $800,000 with this company over the years. But more exciting for me, kind of like the whole, exactly like actually my Ironman, where I went 9:21 on 13 and a half hours a week of training. I've made a lot of money in Isagenix, not working that hard, compared to working 80 hours a week for that engineering company for 50 grand a year, compared to working all day looking for some kind of drug to stay awake at night during my coaching days, where I was making a lot of money coaching but just didn't have the time. For me, this is the easiest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And more importantly, this is the thing that I've been able to impact more people in more profound ways than I've ever been able to do in my entire life. I love the profession of network marketing. I love Isagenix as a company. I love what they've done. I love the direction they're going in. When I started back in 2007, they had 5 products. 5. It's like, man. And they were doing $1 million a week in sales. They do $2 to $3 million a day in sales now. And they've got almost 100 different products for everything from sparkling energy drinks, skincare, CBD oil if you're in the US, amazing healthy aging vitamins. Like, I'm 53 years old. I don't feel 53. I don't think I look 53, other than this like gray eyebrow I got popping out here and a lot of gray around my head. I know I don't act 53, that's for sure. Anyways, I think if you're looking for another solution, you should take a look at network marketing. Whether you do Isagenix or not, doesn't really matter. There's so many amazing companies out there. I love this company. I love what they've done. I love the direction they're going. They've done over $7 billion in sales and paid out over $3.2 billion in commissions. And my $800K on that's 1/4000th of the money the company's paid out. I'm like, it's cool. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it feels good. If you're looking for a solution to get you through this, I get it that now is a freaky time for most people. I used the analogy the other day explaining this to somebody. It's like a turtle that's got its shell wrapped with a stick. That turtle's gonna suck its head and arms and legs in. Or are they all legs? I'm not sure. It's gonna suck everything into that shell because it's so freaked out about what just happened, and slowly it's going to put its head out to see what's going on. When your head comes out of that shell from what's happening right now and you're looking for a solution, because even if you were super successful before, what you were doing before hopefully is working still now. But what if, because this is not going to be the last pandemic, this isn't going to happen less and less, in my opinion. It's just going to get worse and worse, depending on how your news information you're getting, what you think this is caused by. Even if it's a natural thing, we're going to get more and more of these issues coming up over the years. It just doesn't make sense. We're going to have less. But if you believe there's engineering behind all this stuff, well, then for sure, this is going to happen more and more. So what are you doing to protect yourself? And more importantly, what are you doing to protect your family? Because they rely on you. They rely on you doing something. And so for me, I've chosen network marketing and I've chosen Isagenix. Like, I am busier now than I've ever been doing Isagenix. And I could sit back and just be happy with the income that I keep making, but that's not helping other people. It's not helping people see the power of our products and how effective they are and how much less expensive they are for people to get the results that they're looking for, and how it simplifies my life and gives me the results that I need and want every single day. And by helping other people learn about that and fit it into their life, it allows me to create amazing income, but more importantly, help other people do the same thing. And that's the power of network marketing. That's where I think for me it's like I can't keep this to myself. I can't not tell people about it. What they do with the information is entirely up to them. But you got to know there's other solutions out there besides having a job. There's other solutions out there besides being your own boss and being your entrepreneurial self. And if you are that person, awesome. Take a look at network marketing and see how you can incorporate that into what you do, because people know, like, and trust you already. And they're looking for you to provide a solution for them. And if you're interested, shoot me a note. I can help you get plugged into some videos to watch. I'm not going to talk you into doing it first, that's for sure. I'm going to send you more information because I want you to be educated on what this is and why we do it and how it works. Because I only have so much time during the day to work with people, because when Michelle comes home at the end of the day, I shut things down. I want to have dinner ready and I want to spend time with her. I don't work all night. Like, I kind of have this 10 to 2 or 3 o'clock thing going on where I'm kind of working on and off through the day. My mornings are this: training, working out, doing stuff around the house, and then my evenings are spending time with my wife. So if you want to learn a little bit more about what it is and what it can do for you, connect with somebody. If you know somebody in Isagenix, reach out to them, ask them some questions. If you don't, then talk to me. I'm happy to direct you to more information to find out what this is about. And then if it's something that you're interested in, let's talk. Because if it's not for you, I don't want you to do it. I don't want you taking up my time trying to figure out, I'll do this for 4 or 5 months and then it doesn't work. Like, if you're not interested, don't do it. But if you're curious about whether this will work or not, I would love to show you how this can impact your health, your family's health, and then also your financial health, because that is so empowering for me and for other people to have that. And maybe it doesn't work out to be your thing, and that's totally cool too. If you try it and it doesn't work, that's totally fine. If you are thinking that it might work, then try it, right? And if it's a go, awesome. I think you're gonna love it. I can't think of too many people over the last 13 years that have been sharing Isagenix that hated it. They may not like having to do certain components of it. Like, if your goal is to lose weight and one of the things you're doing is having a hard time giving certain things up or doing certain things that you need to do, well, yeah, it's going to be tough. But what I'm finding these days is most of the people that are coming into my team, especially when they're focusing in on the income part of this, the products, remember, the bad thing about Isagenix is the products work so well. So have them think about it this way. You're going to spend $150 a month on food, whether you do Isagenix or not. There's always going to be a cost. It doesn't matter whether you say yes or whether you say no. There's always a cost. And if you stay stuck where you are now, a component of that cost is being stuck in that state of ill health or ill financial health, there's a cost associated with that. So whether you say yes or no, there's a cost. So if you want to get started and you're in the US, it's going to be about $150 a month in product. That's overhead, it's food, it's nutrition. You're just shifting money around. If you're in Canada, it's about $165. If you're in the UK and you're watching this, I've got a big UK team. I didn't bring them in, just people on my team did. It's 74, it's like 120 pounds a month. That's food. You're spending it anyways. And what is it doing for your health? But more importantly, what is it doing for your family's financial future? So this is an investment for me. Every single month I'm investing in my health, and it's my overhead for my business. And then I just tell other people about what I'm doing, and I help people, and the more people I help, the more money I make. It's a pretty awesome connection. So as I said at the beginning, I'm almost done, one more minute. I was a pretty shy, really shy, introverted person. I'm not shy anymore, as you can tell, but I'm still pretty introverted. I would way rather just hang out at home with Michelle, go hiking or mountain biking, than hang out in big, large crowds. I've done talks in front of a lot of people before about this stuff like this because I'm passionate about it. But you don't need to be an extroverted person. We've got so many amazing systems in this company, like any network marketing company does. So if you don't join us, join somebody. They're going to plug you into how to do this really effectively. You don't have to think, oh, I can't do this because I don't like talking to people. It has never been easier to connect with people than now because of the internet. Remember, I started this in 2007. I didn't even have a Facebook account. Facebook wasn't really that big. I actually resisted Facebook for quite a few years before I decided to jump in, and now I've brought in hundreds of people from Facebook into my team, and amazing way to connect with people. So anyways, I'm gonna get back to my walk here. Another wonderful day here in Houston area. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, wash your hands, and don't touch your face. Apparently that's a big thing. So I'm just joking, I know it is. Yeah, stay safe and don't die. Have a great day. Bye.